Hey guys, it's me again. I'm back. I'm very, very sorry for not uploading as much anymore. I have been going through quite a rough time mentally, but I want to get a video out for you guys, especially because I made a promise to someone in my comments. It was requested of me to speak on self-compassion in the face of having an inner critic and in the face of perfectionism. Now, I want to speak with you guys on this topic, and I want to give a little insight, a little bit of my own experience to some things that could maybe help you. Well, first of all, what is being a perfectionist? Being a perfectionist is essentially when you base your worth off of your performance and not who you really are. If you don't perform well, then you think of yourself as less valuable, as less worth it. And having an inner critic is someone who constantly judges you inside of your head. And those are very unhealthy things. In the beginning, they can push you to become better, stronger, flawless, perfect, even. But then you realize halfway that it all kind of fell apart, and instead, you forged a prison inside of your own head. So now you have a person inside of you who constantly judges you, critiques you, criticizes you, tells you you're doing something wrong, and then you start procrastinating because you feel unready when you do something because you want it to be perfect. It can lead to a very, very unhealthy lifestyle, my friends. That is why we need to stop it. We need to change for the better. We need to heal ourselves. And I would like to help you with that. I would like to talk about it and help you guys with that. And also help myself, as I also struggle with it. We all do every single day. Nothing wrong with that. It doesn't invalidate us as humans. Either way, essentially, perfectionism and having an inner critic are old survival tools to keep you safe and protected, to keep you performing, to keep you up, awake, ready, prepared. But if left unchecked, they can become unhealthy. They can become dangerous. They can become harmful. The Greeks spoke of arete, excellence as a way of being, not a fixed standard. It's not something that you just can be, being excellent, being good at something. No. Excellence comes from fully engaging in the struggle, you know? And I believe that a cracked statue holds more meaning than a polished one because every single crack in that statue tell a story of time, of hardship, of work, of failure after failure, but then success. Now, from my own experience, you never really get rid of that inner critic fully. The only thing you really do is build enough self-compassion and patience for yourself that you counter that critic, that you counter that thought, that mentality of perfectionism. And how do you do that? Well, you treat yourself as if you were someone else, especially as a loved one. If a loved one came up to you and said that they are nothing without their amazing performance, that when they get something wrong in class, for example, or when they do something wrong, when they fail at something, then every single other ability that they have, they lose confidence in it. They lose confidence in themselves completely. What would you say to that? You would show compassion. You would reassure them. No, nobody is perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Humans are not flawless creatures. And we know that. And you watching this, you know that we are not flawless. We have flaws. Every single one of us has sinned, have made mistakes before. We have all failed before. You know? So you cannot expect yourself to be perfect when you have already lost the chance to be. You only have one chance in life to be a perfect human, which doesn't exist, by the way. Since the beginning of your time on earth, never sin, never fail, never hurt anyone, and be the most perfect, most kindest, most sweetest human being you could possibly be, and never go through anything, and never feel pain, and never feel sorrow, and never experience anything traumatic or negative ever in your life. Has anyone on earth been that way? No one. Never. So you cannot be either. And it's too late. You cannot be. So give up on that idea. Leave it be. Instead, show yourself compassion. When you sit in class and you raise your hand and you want to answer with confidence, you believe that you are correct about this subject, about this topic, about this theme, but you get your answer wrong. Okay? After you get it wrong, you start believing, wow, I'm stupid. You start doubting yourself completely. This is from my own experience. This has happened to me multiple times. It happened to me a lot. Growing up, I used to always doubt my abilities whenever I got one thing wrong. But through time and through growing, I have learned that in order to earn, you must learn. And in order to learn, you must not know. And you must accept the fact that you do not know, because that is how you begin knowing. To recognize your faults, to recognize your flaws, not be insecure about them, but to recognize them, to accept them. There are some things about us that we simply cannot change, but they have nothing to do with this topic right now. What I'm speaking of is our performance, our abilities, our knowledge. There is absolutely nothing wrong in getting one thing or two or three or four things wrong. There is nothing wrong in making mistakes in life. And instead of thinking I messed up, you should tell yourself, I know where to improve now. Because that's all life is about. It's about improving, not proving. You have nothing to prove to anyone except yourself. And even you don't have anything to prove to yourself, because sometimes you expect things of yourself that are simply unrealistic. All you need to do is be 1% better every day. But even if you have a setback here and there, don't doubt yourself for it. Because 1 day, 2 days, 3 days of failure doesn't erase the progress of 7 days of success, 7 days of constant hard work. All right? Your hard work doesn't get erased because you made one fail, because you made 2 fails. It doesn't. It only adds on to your story. If you come back from it, if you stand tall despite being dropped to the ground and kicked to the ground and beaten by life, then that tells the greatest story one could ever tell. You can't be perfect, so get that idea out of your head, okay? Get it out of your head. But you don't have to be perfect, because you are loved. You have family, you have friends. All right, and if you have none of them, then I love you, okay? So you are loved. And you don't need to prove yourself to anyone. And you don't need to prove your worth to anyone. You are worth it. The fact that you're breathing means you're worth it. The fact that you're able to stand up, to walk, to get to places, that makes you worth it. And the fact that even if you didn't have the ability to walk, if you didn't have the ability to do certain things, it still doesn't diminish you of your value. And it doesn't make you any less of a person. Because really, if a flaw about you made you less of a person, then none of us are beings. None of us are none of us are people. All right? So once more, get the idea of perfection out of your head. Or at least don't listen to it. What you need to do is you need to treat yourself as if you were a loved one, a friend. You need to be your own friend. Because again, we only have ourselves in life. You know? The only one that really sticks through you through anything whatsoever. And the only one of which you have control over to 100%, to a 100% degree, is you. No one else. You have no control over anyone else. And if you try to force control on someone else, then you are a bad person, and this is the wrong video for you. And no, you don't need a video. What you need to do is you need to reevaluate yourself, and you need to get yourself checked up and fixed. But anyway, You are perfect the way you are. Imperfect. And to fail, it doesn't diminish you of who you are. You can get yourself back up and try again and again and again and again. And you keep trying and keep trying and keep going and keep continuing, because no one made it on their first try. All right? And if someone did, then hallelujah. They have still failed in life. All right? In other areas. Because we all fail. And we can't all be good at everything. All right? I realized that a long time ago. I'm not good at math, man. I'm really bad at math. I'm not good at math at all. But I have friends who are good at math, and that's enough for me. Because I realized that some things I just can't get good at, and that's numbers. I can recognize that I can sit down and talk as I am right now. I can help people. I speak 5 languages. I do martial arts. I write stories, poems, but I'm bad with numbers. Does that mean I'm bad at everything else? No. It just means I'm bad at numbers. But I can't be good at everything. So, guys, remember, excellence, strength, and success come from failing, come from engaging in the struggle rather than escaping from it. And they come from being patient with yourself, especially when you can't do it. When you feel like you cannot be patient with yourself, that is when you have to be patient with yourself the most. And act like you're your own friend. Seriously. Love yourself, all right? You deserve that. You deserve to love yourself. You deserve to be taken care of and loved by you. So yeah, thank you all for listening. Again, I love you all. Seriously. Love yourselves, guys. It's a process. Life is a process, not a competition, not a racetrack. It's a process. Things can go slow, they can go fast. Chapters can be short, they can be long. But at the end of the day, you're a human, you're a person, and therefore you deserve to be loved, and you should not give up. Do not give up. Think about who you could be if you don't give up, and do it for that reason, specifically. Do it for who you can be in the future. Don't give up. All right.